podcast. Hey, guys. This is Sean DeGray. Nobody knows who that is, but it's me.
And you are listening to
The Gritty Bowman.
It's all in perspective, right? If you could make $150,000 a year, but you had to work 80 hours a week and you were committed to a corporation that you hated what you did, is that more lucrative than making $70,000 a year doing what you love with a lot of free time? And who's richer?
One of the things I never want to say, and I even think this with life, is I never want to say, like, what if? Like, what? I hate that. I hate that feeling. What if I would have done this? Or what if I would have just tried this? Or what if? What if? And there's very few things that I say what if about. Very few things. And that gives me a lot of peace of mind. So that helps give me drive, because I don't want to ever say what if.
Randy always says this, you're going to run out of health before you run out of money.
Yeah, and you're not going to want to lose this.
Yeah, this right here is going to be podcast magic.
Yeah, I can tell already.
Don't you think?
Yeah, we're going to kill Renella's numbers, I guarantee it.
For people who don't know you, you have an account on Instagram that's Shed Crazy, at Shed Crazy on Instagram. And on there's just like nuggets of wisdom and genius.
Dingleberries.
We need to do a shelter giveaway.
Dude, I don't care what you guys have to do. I'll win that one. I mean, you give away a shelter. I'll go camp. You should just do a camp
What's great about those is you can just roll over and pee.
Dude.
And go back to sleep.
That's the only reason I cut a hole in my Coleman tent to do that out of.
Did you? That's a tip and a half right there.
Yeah.
How to cut a hole in your Coleman tent.
Get a drain going.
And you know everybody's going to cut a bigger hole than they need.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just going to jump in here. Folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowman Podcast. We are at the Western Hunt Expo. And right here, we have before us Shed Crazy himself, Ben Demahamnati.
Yeah, that's about right.
How is the last name pronounced?
Dedamonte.
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 I'm an expert in nameology. That's what I was going to say that. But
say it again.
Dedamonte.
Dedamonte.
Yeah.
That sounds totally made up, dude.
It does.
And you look for dead.
It sounds something you put
sheds.
in Italian food.
Yeah, I was going to change it to Shedamonte. But I don't know if we'll get
Shedamonte.
Yeah, I like that.
That makes sense to me.
It's got a good ring to it.
It does. So we're here with Shed Crazy, and there's probably a lot of people who have no idea who he is.
No, maybe a couple.
You know your face up close with a very. Honestly, that's how Brian showed me your one of your videos. Instagram post. And I'm like, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. And I had one. Well, we did one that wasn't like yours. It was just a tech tip of punching the trigger.
Yeah,
but it is. I do have a little trouble keeping a straight face when I do. Do you?
Not usually. I can take it. I guess I don't think I'm that funny, but I can take it pretty seriously. Nail them first time around for the most part.
It usually it's 3 or 4 trips with us for
really?
sure. Yeah, well
but it's pretty quick though.
Yeah,
I mean 3 or 4 times and maybe three.
I get tongue twisted sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's not bad. But I would say you both have smart ass tendencies.
Right. I definitely say so. I remember when I started seeing Aaron's tips on there and stuff. I started questioning myself a little bit. Am I copying him? He copying me? What's going on here? But I did a little research and figure out where it's coming from, and luckily, big enough man to admit it. And
oh yeah, people ask me. I got hate mail. You need to stop copying Shed Crazy. I'm like, oh okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to do another one tomorrow.
Probably for my fake accounts.
Dude, that's awesome. I was telling Aaron, we need to hashtag Shed Crazy, and really help a brother out.
Yeah, I mean, at least ought to tag me if you're going to jib my idea.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that is a good. He tags you. I forgot. I never tagged you. I should probably.
Aaron is not a tag person.
I don't
anyway.
really tag anyone.
No.
Yeah, I get yelled at by Casey and I'll post
Casey and JoJo.
And JoJo, I'll post some epic, Nat Geo class photo, no words, just a photo, and then I get a text from Jordan. Are you an idiot? Where's your hashtags? Where's your whatever? I'm like, I don't know. It's a good enough photo. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it's standalone. I don't have standalone work. Nothing I do has any quality on its own.
So Ben, for people who don't know you, you have an account on Instagram that's Shed Crazy, at Shed Crazy on Instagram, and on there's just nuggets of wisdom and genius. Actually,
dingleberries.
you're kind of making fun of everything.
Yeah.
But primarily focused on the hunting world.
Yeah. Just on the stuff I think about. I think about hunting all the time, and I just love to sit back and watch all the little cliches that exist within this whole hunting community, whatever, and poke fun at them.
And I think anybody who follows Gritty Bowman has seen our Gritty Bowman tech tips, and we did a couple before Aaron saw yours, but I came to him and I was like, dude, you got to watch these, dude. There's like 5 or 6 really hilarious ones I've enjoyed, so I'm showing them to Aaron. And then I just had to repost them on Gritty Bowman, and Aaron's like laughing really hard. And then I go home, and about an hour later, there's one on Gritty Bowman that he did, and it was really funny.
Yeah,
I can't remember even what the first one was. It was in my office, I think.
Yeah. The first one I saw was your couch one, where you're going to have the nicer your bow is, the lousier your furniture is going to be. And
that was good.
If you want to get into the outdoor industry, because that is like one of the number one questions I get. I mean, leaving gear out of it is how do I get into the industry?
Yep.
And I'm like, it's hard work.
Aaron was a diamond in the rough, and he just needed a podcast to really shine.
Yeah, I think so. I've been listening to this podcast forever, and it's kind of funny you think you know people. You know, people put this persona out online and stuff, but it's fun to listen to you guys and see you guys have been blowing up. It's cool.
And speaking of that, you have like blown up. I remember the first time I came across you, Sean DeGray sent me private messaged me one of your deals.
Yeah.
And it showed up, and I believe it was the one about chin up.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
Oh, somebody would come up to me, you tell it.
Well, I remember doing that one. I was probably in my janitor's closet on my job. That's where see that gray door in the background? That's where the magic happened. And luckily, my employers, I made peace with them. They know about it, so it's no big deal. My ex-employers. But, yeah, and I just remember making one that, like, if you're having a hard time or if you're having a rough day or if you're not where you want to be, as far as your fitness goes, then, people ask me, what can I do for my fitness? And I say, it's okay, chin up. Oh, thanks for the support. I'm like, no, go to the gym and do some chin-ups, man. That's what we're talking about here.
Chin up. The delivery is awesome. You have Aaron and you both. You have like a killer delivery. So we did the Gritty Bowman Tech Tip Contest.
Uh-huh.
And we've got some really good ones that people submitted. And you submitted one as well.
I did.
It's a great one.
It's a little gritty.
Did you see it, Aaron?
Yeah, I did. I was just the guy that dry fired his bow, he just took it to a new level. I mean, it's one thing for you get.
He's got to settle the pockets.
Yeah, but or punch the trigger, nothing's getting broken.
Yeah,
that dude settled his pockets twice, I think. Actually, he's like, well, you got wood on that one. So yeah, it was
DC.
It was yeah,
he's like, one of my favorite lines is, you got to straighten those arrows. And he's like, I read about that on Archery Talk.
Yeah. Yeah. You do, and if you've ever been on Archery Talk,
it settles the carbon.
Right.
You do find some very, very strange advice and activity on Archery Talk.
It's a good place to learn a lot of bad information.
So, Ben, tell us, how did you get started on this whole thing?
I started out pretty much just a diehard shed hunting page. That was my thing. I wanted to do was find a way to I've always just wanted to be able to hunt sheds for a living.
Yeah.
So I started this serious Instagram page a couple years ago, and it kind of gained a little traction, but not as much as I was kind of hoping for. But my wife actually told me, she's like, you just got to put your humor into it or it's never going to go anywhere. And, of course, just like all ideas that come from your wife, I just assumed it was a bad idea. Didn't do it. But over the course of a little while, I started rolling that way. And now I try to drop a few videos a week, and make those dumb little memes every now and then if I can find something that's funny. And I don't know. I swear, half the time I post them, like, nobody is going to think this one is funny. Or else my wife I'll run it by her, and she's like, that's not funny. And like, watch this.
The Yeti cooler one was pretty funny. I watched the Yeti. I'm finally ready to buy a Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mortgage.
Yeah, we definitely.
We've been praying about it, or we've been thinking about it for a long time, and I think it's the right time in our life to make this investment and all of that, and then you drop. We're finally going to get our first Yeti cooler. Dude, that's genius, man.
Dehydrated water was another good one, too.
Dehydrated water.
Oh, that's
How does
funny.
it feel to be, to get that validation? I mean, it really is. You got a lot of fans now.
Yeah, it's actually, I thrive on it, actually. Like, I was definitely a class clown in
Motivates ya?
school. I remember coming home from, like, first or second grade, my mom being like, it's not your job to entertain everyone at school. And I was like, yeah, it is.
I picture
That's what I
Aaron
do.
Snyder doing the same thing.
Yeah, I was a little peckerhead.
Yeah.
Aaron, where do you think your sense of humor came from? What is it spawned out of? Survival?
I don't know. In my case, as everybody knows, everybody just thought I was kind of a pecker, like a dick, right? Like but
Yeah.
I'm actually a super
You don't portray
funny.
that persona at all.
Yeah, I'm a super funny guy. I'm always practical, joking, but I can look in that camera like yourself and be very serious. So as far as where it came from, I would imagine, probably looking at the brighter side of things when everything else is kind of not going so well.
What about you, Ben? Where do you think yours came from?
I think mine came from the playground. People used to try to pick on me a little bit when I was young until I grew, until I could take them, But probably just I just wanted to be the funny kid. I saw that the funny kids got more girls and had more fun, so that's what I wanted to try to do.
What amazes me on those is some people, they seem to reply, and I get messages like I'm being serious, like they don't know it's a joke.
Yeah.
One
when
guy
you give
got
a tech tip advice,
yeah.
and people are like, that's a horrible way to shoot a bow. That is not how you shoot a bow. I can't believe you're promoting this. And we're like, look, if you don't understand this is a joke, we can't help you.
See, and
like, this is too far.
I never tell them it's a joke, dude.
Yeah.
I love to play. Like, I honestly.
You
all the
never let
messages,
up.
People giving me messages like, oh, we love what you're doing. That's great. But I would 100 times rather get a message of somebody who thinks I'm completely seriously. I just try to play into it.
So what do you do for work now? You said you were a janitor?
I was, yeah. I worked for the school district down there for a long time. I actually just quit. And I went full-time on this deal about a little less than a month ago. So
Full-time shed crazy.
Yeah, just making Instagram crap and YouTube and hunting sheds mostly is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Elk sheds.
Are you married?
Yeah, I am. I'm married and I have 2 little boys, a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Is she a sugar mama?
Yeah, you could probably say that. She's a school teacher. I mean, it's sugar mama on a budget for sure. But we're doing okay, and she goes to work. I stay with my
Would
boys.
that be like a
and
Splenda mama?
Yeah,
like
school teachers are poor.
Sweet and low or something.
Yeah, the Spriva.
We're not rich by any means, but we're doing okay. We're getting by. So.
Yeah, but who's richer, I mean, it's great to be able to do what you love to do.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy.
Even money's just overrated. I mean, as long as you have enough to be comfortable, after that, it's kind of overrated. People chase it, but I don't think it really is all that fulfilling once you've got it.
Well, if
you're not happy without it, you're not happy with it.
Right. Yeah, and money to me, it's something I hope to find out if it's worth it or not someday. We'll see.
I don't know. Look at them shoes. I mean, they're just like Crispies.
Dude, I can hike the hills in these things like you can't believe. I tried to buy a pair of these for the show off of eBay. Got the wrong size. That was a nightmare.
You run a Horn Hunter pack?
I have, yeah. I've been actually affiliated with Horn Hunter just for a little while, for a few months and stuff, and I just like that it's tailored to the shed hunting that I'm doing. Yeah. But I've seen your Kafaru stuff. I saw you guys have that new net out for those for the elk sheds. So
yeah, no, we shed hunt I don't have quite as much time as I used to, but we shed hunt a lot in the spring, and so that was off of basically A22 bag in the Army, but it's what the net came from. But we always just we have a cargo panel, but it doesn't work as well. And sometimes we've caught it at the right time where a herd's come through, a bachelor herd, and dropped 25 sheds.
Right.
And strapping 25 sheds on a pack is not an easy thing to do.
It tests the levels. I think our best – we had a good day last week where my buddy Josh picked up 20 and I picked up 14.
Yeah.
Really?
It'll test your capacity. Luckily, I was making stash piles, so I go back and get them. But it's a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That's why I work out, so I can be ready for stuff like that.
It's important.
Heck yeah.
I mean, that adds a lot of value. How many Cosmic Brownies do you eat a week?
Usually not just as many as I can get my hands on. My local grocery store sells out every once in a while, so I kind of have to. I usually have some on Amazon rolling in case I can't get them at the store. But
dude, your Conquer Hunger campaign was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I got to say.
I think it taught me a lot.
Yeah,
I still kind of have flashbacks to that 24 hours without food every once in a while. But we made it. Funny. I don't want to get emotional talking about it. It's kind of hard.
Nothing says help the Ethiopians like double fisting cosmic brownies. Down
Yeah, I
your
know.
throat.
I probably made up for it as soon as it was over.
Like binge eating. Yeah.
You look thinner to me.
Thanks, man.
I mean, I'm not hitting on you or anything, but
I didn't realize you were 6'4" or whatever. How
yeah.
tall are you?
Yeah, I'm around there somewhere.
I thought you were a short, fat guy, and then I saw
Yeah.
you, and I'm like, is
Tall,
that
fat
Shed
guy.
crazy? Yeah. Yeah, you're not really. You're not fat. I thought you were probably a solid 30 pounds overweight, 40, and I was like, oh, he's just a big dude.
Yeah.
Not overweight at all.
I've actually shed a good amount of weight, 45 pounds probably over the last year,
Yeah.
just from hiking more, and I try to do a little bit of intermittent fasting for weight loss, just cut my calories down, eat less carbs, but
Eat less cosmic brownies.
yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, but I still hammer the brownies when I'm out in the hills, keep the calories where I need them to be. And
so do people, as you've grown, like how much have you grown in like the last 5 months?
I've probably picked up 10,000 followers on Instagram and a couple, I think I went from 100 subscribers on YouTube to somewhere around, 1,400 now. So not
the thing is after meeting you, that you're the same dude that you see on Instagram as you are in person.
It's good. It's good to hear.
There's no although except that you're not short and fat. I mean,
Right.
I've got the face, but we can't see the rest of the stature there as much.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't want to let people down. Honestly, there's a lot of these dudes off Instagram. You roll up on them, and they're just little guys. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe there's like some reason they have a higher success rate in this industry. But good dudes, but it's just weird. Some of them are a lot bigger, too.
Some are bigger.
Yeah, you were taller than I expected.
Well, that's because I hunched. But the other thing is, too, you put me next to Cam, Dan Staten, and Brian. Giant. I mean, I'm towering over them.
Stand out.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not fair because they can shoot a 250 bull like Cam or Dan, and that thing's 310.
Yep.
You and I've
talked about that
before. Got to back up 6
bit.
feet, stick the arm way out.
Dude, it's not fair, man. Holding little fish and stuff, too. They look huge on them.
Well, and your beard is widening your head as well, and I got the same problem now. So you got to stand to the right of the antlers, not just back.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It makes it look narrower if you're right up on it.
Any other tips you can think of right now?
Nothing
for big guys
to mind. Well, or just shoot bigger. But I mean, no, you can't do that all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Ben, you could go really dirty on Instagram, but I see you keep it pretty clean.
I try to. I'm not fooling myself. I know a good amount of my followership's high school kids and stuff, and then all my neighbor kids follow me and stuff. So I decided I probably ought to better keep it pretty clean.
Yeah. But where are you from? Are you Salt Lake?
I'm from southern Utah. I was born and raised in Cedar.
How long you been hunting?
My whole life, yeah, as long as I can remember. My dad started hauling me around when I was a little kid, going with him and stuff. That was one of my best memories growing up.
Honestly, I think one of my favorite ones of all time was I identify. What is it? Identify as a bow hunter.
Yeah.
Like you started getting some followers from bow hunters.
Yeah.
And you're like, I identify as a bow hunter, but I still shoot. I don't remember how it went, but it was just funny.
Yeah, I was trying to hit on that whole thing. You just pick whatever you want to be, Like YouTube, that one got a little bit sketchy. I put that one up on YouTube, and I put my coming out story as the title. So I was coming out as an archer, even though I was raised a bow hunter. And
Did that, you got some flack?
Oh, yeah, man.
I like the one where you're like, I even dabbled a little bit with muzzleloader when it was a real confusing time.
That's pretty good.
Why do you think people identify with your humor?
Well, to me, I think everybody kind of has a good time out in the hills with their buddies. You know the guys you hunt with, you rib them, you can hit them in their ribs, and the internet's kind of made it so you have an inside track on all these people, who maybe you otherwise wouldn't get to know.
Yeah.
And so I just think they like to feel like we're all buddies, and for me, I can make fun of these guys that I've never met before because they put everything online. They put themselves out there, so you know how to get at them. You can see them, see a guy like Zach Griffith or somebody, and it's just low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You can just get him. But,
and for the most part, I think most people are laughing at your humor. Most people enjoy it.
I think so. I think that there's nothing malicious about it. We're not out to make anybody cry or anything like that. It's just
we
fun.
found that there are some people that are more sensitive to being teased than others.
Man.
Yes, there is.
And so we tend to target the people who are who like a good joke and like to throw back.
Yeah.
We made fun of CrossFit a little bit, but we also made fun of bodybuilding the other day about Zach and Eric Chesser.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And Eric came back with his little bit on CrossFit. No,
I saw it.
We're all injured, so after the workout, so we know we did a good workout, stuff like that. That's just funny stuff, and he can take a joke. But there are a few other people that Aaron is he just talks crap and gives people a hard time.
Yeah.
Not maliciously, but they're a little sensitive over it. So, Ben, where do you want to see this thing go? Shed Crazy go?
I was hoping to join the Gritty Bowman. You guys looking for a third member? Maybe we could get just make this
you have to
Gritty Bowman Ginger Edition?
Yeah, we could do a man on the street or something. I don't know.
I don't want to hurt your feelings or anything.
Well,
but
we cut that part out. I don't. If you're going to turn me down, let's cut that.
No, I'm just going to put some contingencies on it. You got to be leaner and fitter.
Oof. Never mind. I'm
no
out.
cosmic brownies.
That's it. Never mind. You changed my life path. I'll go join the Hush crew. I know I can hit him with Casey over there.
I was going to say,
going to make me be
Casey is a little girthy. You're right about that.
Yeah, the girthy Bowman. We'll just start.
That's cool. No, where do you want to see it go? I mean,
I would love to see anything. Like when my wife and I set out on this journey that we're doing, the full-time shed hunter deal. We decided success would be either being able to support myself off of the YouTube thing and the Instagram thing, or if I was able to affiliate with a company that I really believe in, that I get a lot of fulfillment out of working for, doing media for them, I'd be happy in that kind of a full-time job. So either place that it ends up, we're going to be in a good place. And
I just don't want to see it stop. I'm having too much fun. I'm having too much fun watching it, following your Instagram stories and then your posts. They're just too much fun, man. They brighten the day and they make you laugh, and I don't want to see that change. So if you do work for someone else, you got to keep up.
Make sure you can still do them in the office.
Yeah, there will be some contingencies.
You want to make sure you're getting paid from the company you're working for, whether it's about Shed Crazy or not.
Yep,
that's a win-win, right? Like if you're selling cars, you can have your buddy come in and then do an upload and act like you're selling a car. Or
yeah, maybe we can move it over to some bigger markets. This hunting thing.
Yeah. That's cool. I think and you've done it. You kind of are getting there, aren't you?
I feel like it, and the funny thing is people never told me I'd done anything until you guys started talking about me. Like family members and stuff. Like even some of my brother-in-laws.
You made it.
Dude, I have my brother-in-law, Chris. He's the funniest dude. But he texts me finally, and he's like, dude, they talked about you on the Gritty Bowman podcast.
Was that the one earlier? Is that the one earlier when I jumped on you?
No, it's a different. That's my little brother, Rocky, that was here today. But, yeah, he's just he's like, I guess that's it. Guess you made it. But it's funny. To me, I don't ever feel like I've made it. I don't never hit that sense of accomplishment until, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to keep grinding.
Yeah.
Keep grinding.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad. We got to do some more stuff together. I'm excited to share your gritty tech tip. It's in the top 5.
Is it?
It's in the top 5 for sure. People are going to have to vote, and see.
Good.
It was pretty dang funny.
I'm glad.
It kind of hit a sore spot. I mean, it's kind of hit a sore spot.
See, well, you called me out a little in your post. You're like, well, I don't know if it'll be gritty enough. I was like, this will be
gritty. It's gritty. Well, I think it starts out like this. I have a tip for you today. And it goes like, how to switch camo companies without catching crap from all your friends.
That's a good one.
I was trying to ring your ears a little bit on that one for sure, but
it's funny too.
I need that pack. I need Aaron's old pack. I'd love to have one of those things. So I started calling him. I was like, "What, are you giving away a used pack?" We're gonna call it the Gritty Bowman Yard Sale giveaway.
The backpack's actually it's brand new. It was one I pulled off the line, the bag, and then the frame was one. It's been used a couple times.
Sweated in a little.
Yeah, not too much. It's it's funny though.
That's all the backpacks we give away are just slightly used.
Yeah, you sip the Mountain Ops.
But we get new stuff. No, that's all brand new. But
charge your phone on the charger once.
We need to do a shelter giveaway.
Dude, I don't care what you guys have to do. I'll win that one. I mean, you give away a shelter. I'll go camp. You should just do a camp.
What's great about those is you can just roll over and pee.
Dude,
and go back to sleep.
That's the only reason I cut a hole in my Coleman tent to do that out of.
Did you? That's a tip and a half right there.
Yeah.
How to cut a hole in your Coleman tent.
Get a drain going.
And you know everybody's going to cut a bigger hole than they need.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would guess.
Like, got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So, well, dude, thanks for coming on the podcast. You got anything you want to share? Tell our audience. Any parting words?
I just tell people, I don't get serious very often, I mostly joke around. But if there's anything you want to do, if you got a dream that bugs you while you sit there at work all day, just go out there and chase it. Follow your heart, follow your stomach, whatever you got to follow to wherever you want to be, because sitting at the office all day, man, nobody wants to do that. Just do what you want to do. If it's working for you, whatever, but go chase it.
I got to tell it, I mean, to people all the time, I failed at a million things before I started doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tried a lot of different things, and I was curious, and I always I just did what I wanted to do on the side. Still was responsible, took care of my family, provided and everything, but
right.
And but I just never quit.
Right.
Never quit trying to do stuff I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And then this has just seemed to be the perfect fit. It just feels like a good fit.
Right.
He had to sell his fourth daughter to start the podcast.
She wasn't
hardly remember her name anymore.
She wasn't my favorite anyway, but I mean,
you got to do what you got to do, man, if you're going to get where you want to be. Collateral.
I sold my left lung to help him, but
really,
my right lung was really big.
Oh yeah, I had a larger.
He's got an impressive
capacity.
lung. Ben, folks, go out and check out Ben Dedimonte.
That's me
on Instagram. Look him up. It's Shed Crazy.
Yep.
And follow. Give Ben a follow. You won't regret it. If you like Aaron's tech tips, you're gonna like Ben's stuff too.
And make sure you scroll all the way back because there's a lot of
some of the old stuff is super good.
I got about 100 of them on there, so go through, watch them, go like them. That's where my validation comes from. I just hit that refresh button.
With that low self-esteem, you know, you really got to get that.
I've always just struggled with.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing.
I need that validation.
All right, Ben.
Okay, fellas.
Stay
Will
gritty.
do. Thanks for having me on, boys.
Thanks for coming on.
My name's Ben. You can find me on Instagram at ShedCrazy. I got some tips for you guys. Most important one being if you want to get it on the Brit. What's this called?
It's Gritty Bowman. Gritty Bowman.
Gritty.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. If you guys want to get on the Gritty Bowman podcast, major thing that you got to do is you got to play into the egos of the hosts. You have to tell Aaron Snyder that his tattoos are cool. You got to tell him that his beard looks good. Most important thing is you got to tell him his tech tips are funny, even if they come off second tier. And then you can play into my buddy Brian Call's head as well. Tell him that it's okay to be bald. Nobody cares. And, make sure and compliment his biceps. So they'll basically only let people on that tell them what they want to hear. And, and it's okay to change camel companies. Whatever anybody says, that's okay. So follow me at Shed Crazy. I got more good advice, whatever you want to hear.
That was good right there, man.